2023. As we all know, responsible tourism is the sustainable and rural tourism policy of the state. The goal of organizing the Global Responsible Tourism Summit is to promote responsible tourism practices in order to broaden the experience and the scope of tourism in general. The Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023 is going to begin right here today, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving on to the sessions, the inaugural sessions. But before that, let me welcome the Sopanam Sangeetham team. Please join. And we are going to begin this grand day with the Sopanam Sangeetham. Please join in the center side and let's enjoy it together, please. Thank you.
परमपुरुषं रे पङ्कजनाभ परमपुरुषं रे पङ्कजनाभ वरददामनथ बालगोपाल रे.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a special and beautiful beginning it was with the Sopana music. Hope everyone has enjoyed it. Thank you so much. So the official meeting is about to begin. Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023. We are moving on to the official ceremonies right here today. We are moving on to the welcome speech. For that, let me welcome Principal Secretary, Tourism and Fisheries, Government of Kerala, Shri K.S. Srinivas IAS. Please join.
Minister for Cooperation and Registration, Sri V.N. Vasavan, our Minister for Public Works and Tourism, Sri P.M. Ahmad Riaz, and the other keynote speakers, Ms. Susan Ferguson, Dr. Harold Godwin, and all my other dignitaries on the dais, because there are so many people. So, today is a very wonderful historical day. We are going to start this first Global Responsible Tourism Summit, and many people have come from different parts of the world. And as you know, Kerala, Government of Kerala, Department of Tourism has started the marketing of Kerala as a destination. Because you know, whoever comes to India, they just come to some parts like the Golden Triangle. You know, the Golden Triangle means Delhi, Agra, and then Jaipur, and then after that they'll go back. So very few percentage of tourists who come to Delhi, they come down to south, and that too to Kerala. So that was the reason why Kerala government has started a very great concerted marketing campaign to attract the tourists from foreign countries directly to Kerala. And because of the advantage we have those days 2 important airports, now 4 important airports, international airports have come up in Kerala. They are operating flights to different countries. So that was the initiative taken by the Department of Tourism. And because of this and the God's Own Country campaign started by the government about 2 decades back. So I am very happy to say that Kerala has achieved a unique place, not only in the country but wherever you go in the world, they understand Kerala. So that is the thing. And then before the COVID affected the tourism industry, I think more than 1 million foreign tourists have visited Kerala. So that's a great record. And now we are trying to come back to the normal normalcy by attracting more and more. And all these marketing initiatives are happening. And of course, this is not sufficient. If somebody asks me, what is the USP of Kerala tourism? And then many people will say, okay, nature is good, natural beauty is the number one, or maybe the hospitality is very good, maybe the beaches are wonderful, the backwaters are unique, all those kind of things many people will say. But if you ask me, as a tourism secretary, I would like to say that the USP of Kerala tourism or Kerala is responsible tourism. I don't think any other state in the country has so much of involvement of local community, and that community involving with the tourism industry. It's a really great achievement as far as Kerala is concerned. And this I don't think any other state, all other states are now looking towards Kerala to understand how this responsible tourism can be implemented in their states, and how it can be done. And then, so because I'm sure many people who are coming here, especially the foreign tourists, they would like to experience the village life. They would like to see how to catch fish, how to do some sowing, how to do maybe tapping, how to climb the tree. So this kind of a things, and then how to get just now you saw the performance from the local artists, and so these are all the things which I think are unique to Kerala, and I think understanding the need for linking the local community with the tourism industry, the RT mission has been set up in 2008. And in the last 15 years, several initiatives have been taken, and I really congratulate RT mission activists, and especially Mr. Rupesh Kumar, the state coordinator, for achieving what he has achieved so far in the last 15 years. So now recently I am very happy to announce that in the WTM, World Travel Mart also, we have received some awards exclusively for the responsible tourism. So that's a great achievement. And then keeping all this in mind, we have decided to take it further, to take this further, and then because whatever declaration we have given in 2008, then it's almost 15 years now, and we must take it to the next decade, next another 25 years, how to do that. So that declaration is required, and for that we felt the need for a tourism a summit, the Global Responsible Tourism Summit. And then I am very happy our Honorable Minister Shri P.M. Mohammad Riaz Saab has given his consent for organizing such a great event here. And then that too, the location has been selected as Kumaragam, because you know Kumaragam is the cradle of responsible tourism. I'm sure some of you are going to visit some of the villages here, nearby villages on Tuesday, and then you will understand why it is become the cradle of RT. So this is the background, and I am very, very happy, and I really thank all the participants, especially those who have come from foreign countries to come and address us, and especially I would like to mention two names here. Ms. Susan Ferguson, country representative, UN Women India. She is going to talk about UN Women and gender inclusive tourism. And Dr. Harold Goodwin, he is considered to be the father of responsible tourism in the world. So he is like in our language, he is like our Bhishma Pitamaha for responsible tourism, and he is also here. We are really enriched by the presence of these two great personalities, and we also have many of our people here. So my purpose is to welcome each and one of you. So I would like to welcome Shri V.N. Vasavan, the Minister for Cooperation and Registration, who has come in time, and on my behalf, on behalf of RT Mission and Tourism Department, I welcome Shri V.N. Vasavan. We also have our Honorable Minister for Public Works and Tourism, Shri P.A. Mohammad Riaz sir, and he is not physically present here. I was told he is going to be addressing us through video. So I welcome on behalf of all our participants, Shri Mohammad Riaz, to this function. We also have Shri Thomas Charikadan, a Member of Parliament representing Kottayam. So Shri Thomas Charikadan, I welcome him on all our behalf. We also have yes, of course, I already mentioned Mrs. Susan Ferguson. I welcome Susan Ferguson, and then I thank you very much for coming here all the way and participating in this program. And as I mentioned already, Dr. Harold Goodwin is already here. So he is a founder of International Center for Responsible Tourism and MD Responsible Tourism Partnership. He is going to talk about Platform for Change, Global Responsible Tourism Movement. So I welcome Dr. Harold Goodwin from my deep heart of the hearts. Then we also have other officers, and yes, I think District Collector Kottayam is there, Jayashri. So I welcome Dr. P.K. Jayashri, because whatever happens in the district, it cannot be done without her cooperation and permission and all that. Then we also have some of our local bodies presidents, President District Panchayat Kottayam, Srimati K.V. Bindu, I welcome on behalf of Tourism Department, Sri Bindu. And we also have Arya Rajan, the President, Etumanur Block Panchayat. I welcome Srimati Arya Rajan. And we also have another important lady. She is Dhanya Sabu. She is the President of the Kumaragam Grama Panchayat. I think the entire area comes under her jurisdiction. So we welcome her. We sincerely thank for her presence. And we also have another lady is Mekhala Joseph, Block Panchayat member. So I welcome Srimati Mekhala Joseph. So this shows the importance of local bodies, self-government here in Kerala. I don't think any other state has got this type of participation from the people. So I'm very happy we have we have a three-tier structure: Jilla Parishad, Block Panchayat, and then Block and Grama Panchayat. All people have participated in our program. We also have a ward member. I think that is also very, very important. Where is he? Mr. PK, Advocate PK Manoharan. Yeah, he's a ward member. And of course, such a great event cannot be complete without the presence of the industry, the people representing industry. We have great people here, sitting here. I think one or two on the dais, one or two outside. So, Mr. Sri Baby Matthew Somathiram, he is the president of Kerala Travel Mart Society, and he doesn't need any introduction to all of you. He has, I think, one of the best resorts, Somathiram, in near Trivandrum. So I welcome him. And there is one more important person, Sri Jose Dominic. Mr. Sri Jose Dominic is, I can say, he is the one of the doyens of tourism industries in Kerala. And I think I met him 20 years back, 25 years back in Fort Kochi when I was working there. And then I'm so happy to meet Sri Jose Dominic again after so many years. So I have seen some of his properties in Marari and in Coconut Lagoon. One of the best properties, I think it's called CGH now. I think its name has been changed now. Clean, Green and Healthy organization. So I think you must visit any of his properties. So I welcome Sri Jose Dominic. And we also have another important person called Sri E.M. Najib. Is he there? I have not seen him. He's not there. Okay. So we have a Kerala State Tourism Advisory Committee member, Sri Abraham George. Yeah. So he is there. So I welcome him. We also have some of our officers from Tourism Department and my colleagues, Sri P.B. Nu, he is the Director Tourism, and he is also there, sitting there. So I welcome Sri P.B. Nu. And whatever is happening is all with his approval. So he is such an important person. So thank you very much for attending this. And last but not the least, Sri Rupesh Kumar. He is the soul and heart of the whole thing. And without him, there is no RT at all in Kerala. So he is really working hard to make RT a very big success in Kerala. So, and then most importantly, so many people are there on the dais, but half the dais, so all the important people have come from different parts of the country and different parts of the world. And I sincerely thank all of you for accepting our invitation and then coming here to such a place called Kumaragam. And then I'm sure it's not like Kochi. You can't come, you can just land in Kochi and then go to the hotel. It's not like that. You have to travel a lot from Cochin airport. So I sincerely thank everybody. I'm sure this summit will throw a big light, and then we will be able to come out with a declaration, another declaration by tomorrow evening. And I hope everybody will participate actively, and then something will come out tomorrow evening. And I also sincerely think that I wish that all of you will have a wonderful visit here, wonderful journey in Kerala, especially in Kumaragam, in and around Kumaragam, the village visits, everything. And then I'm sure you will enjoy your 3-day stint here in Kerala. And my best wishes to everybody. And with this, I'll stop, and then thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shri K.S. Srinivas IAS, for the best and the special welcome speech. Thank you so much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the presidential address. For that, let me welcome Minister for Corporation and Registration, Shri V.N. Vasavan. Please join. With a huge round of applause, let's welcome Shri V.N. Vasavan.
Honorable Tourism Minister, Advocate P.A. Muhammad Riaz, respected Shri K.S. Srinivas IAS, keynote speakers, respected Ms. Susan Ferguson, Dr. Harold Goodwin, Sri P.B. Nuh IAS, Dr. V. Venu IAS, Dr. P.K. Jayasri IAS, Srimati K.V. Bindu, Srimati Arya Rajan, Srimati Dhanya Sabu, Srimati V. Vigneshwari IAS, Sri Prem Krishnan S. IAS, Srimati Mekhila Joseph, Advocate P.K. Manoharan, Sri Baby Matthew Somadhiram, Sri Jos Dominic, Sri E.M. Najib, Sri Abraham George, Sri K. Ruvesh Kumar, ladies and gentlemen. I solemnly welcome the delegates, honorable guests, and you all on the auspicious event of Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023 on the behalf of the reception committee. I have to start with it that it was not just a project, but was my sole responsibility to be with the responsible tourism. I would like to quote an old say, there is no substitute for hard work, which is relevant in the case of responsible tourism project. However, the responsible tourism was not being widely accepted at its initial stage in 2007-8. Of course, there was an endless concern to be dealt with. Poetically, I must say it was not a bed of roses. I proudly say it was a teamwork. Kumaragam Gram Panchayat played a major role in the growth of responsible tourism projects. The journey has to be through a lot of eminent personalities like Comrade Kodiyeri Balakrishnan, then Honorable Minister for Tourism, who stood firm stance with the concept of the project. Apparently, without him, it was never a complete picture. I extend the gratitudes on the behalf of the entire constituency and remember him with affection. Dr. V. Venu IAS, Additional Chief Secretary at Home and Vigilance, then the Director of Tourism, Sri G.C. Damodaran, Sri Rupesh Kumar, are those people who were with us in the successful journey. Kumaragam has been awarded with various recognitions internationally and nationally for the implementation of many responsible tourism activities and projects. Recently, the Aymanam Gram Panchayat has been declared as a model tourism village. Is a great achievement of your collective efforts. But it should be kept in your minds that miles to go before we sleep. And finally, it is a great privilege to host the Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023 in Kumaragam. We collectively believe that this will strengthen the tourism sectors in Kumaragam and Kerala on the whole. Once again, I am extremely happy to have you all this great event and wish this to be a great success. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Shri V. N. Vasavan, for the presidential address. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the inaugural address. Minister for Public Works and Tourism, Shri P.A. Muhammad Riaz, he couldn't join with us on this grand occasion right here today, but we are moving on to the inaugural address through the video. So I am requesting everyone's attention on the video. Let's begin. With a loud round of applause, let's begin this inaugural sessions, please.
A very good morning to all of you. I welcome all of you to Kerala, this land of scenic beauty and rich cultural heritage. I am extremely happy to have us all gathered for the Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023. This summit is going to be one of the most significant turning points for Kerala tourism. Kerala's responsible tourism activities are already well acknowledged by international community. Especially the pioneering projects like Street are truly a model tourism scheme internationally. Even though the definition for responsible tourism was declared in 2002, there were no practical models for responsible tourism for the state to study or consult. Government of Kerala decided to practice responsible tourism in an experimental basis at the 4 selected destinations, and the first phase of responsible tourism in Kerala got started in 2008. Through various phases of development, in 2017, Responsible Tourism Mission has been formed as the nodal agency for the sustainable development tourism based on the concepts of responsible tourism, and led the various forms of tourism activities comes under rural development and community development. The Kerala Responsible Tourism Mission was bagged several recognition awards such as the Global Award at the World Travel Mark WTM London 2022 towards conserving water and improving water security and supply for neighbors. Street Project and International Center for Responsible Tourism ICRT. Indian Subcontinent Awards 2022 for top honors in plastic waste elimination. Water conservation under the Water Street Project. Diversification in the tourism sector and revival of post-COVID tourism. The Responsible Tourism Mission's major projects such as Street, Sustainable, Tangible, Responsible, Experiential, Ethnic Tourism, that is Street, and PEPPER, People's Participation for Participatory Planning and Empowerment through Responsible Tourism, that is PEPPER, has already marked global attention and recognition. PEPPER, Street, and Model RT Village projects are an attempt towards establishing 100% structured RT destinations. Envisaged at turning the face of tourism, it pictures the sustainable development of a destination by bringing the local community also into this fold. Responsible tourism is the policy of the state to ensure community participation and women empowerment through tourism. To ensure community participation, we are implementing various projects through RT Mission. The Kerala state is already declared as the global leader of responsible tourism. However, by conducting the Global RT Summit 2023, we are addressing some of the major areas which need our attention. Coming to the major targets of the Global Responsible Tourism Summit, to revise the Kerala Declaration 2008 on responsible tourism and to scale up the responsible tourism mission activities across the state, to ensure environment-friendly and resilient tourism activities in the state, to emphasis on women empowerment and women-friendly tourism activities in Kerala, to create a network of global responsible tourism, sustainable tourism, practitioners and promoters, to present global responsible tourism activities and to get more knowledge from better practices. Creating global level association is also to be considered. To promote responsible tourism activities in entire state and to implement the same in each and every accommodation unit across the state. to showcase the responsible, experiential, rural and sustainable tourism initiations of Kerala and so as to increase tourist inflow. The Global RT Summit is being conducted in a vision to bring the world together for moving towards the same cause. We are pleased to showcase Kerala's RT movements to the world to inspire and to help strengthening the world RT. Kerala government has already decided to convert RT mission as a society for the smooth functioning of the mission. Kerala Responsible Tourism Mission is to associate and join hands with the United Nations Women on Women-Friendly Tourism. By strengthening of responsible tourism and the sustainable tourism is going to bring a drastic change in the tourism industry and raise the state tourism into a different height. Kerala Responsible Tourism Mission of Kerala Tourism is blissful to be the host for the Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023. Thank you all for your esteemed participation. I would like to conclude my speech and hereby declare that the Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023 has been formally inaugurated. Thank you.
That was a very, very important moment being a part of. Definitely, we all are thankful to Sri P.A. Muhammad Riyas, Minister for Public Works and Tourism. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the special sessions. That is, we have the chief guest, Member of Parliament, Sri Thomas Charikadan, right here today. So let me welcome Sri Thomas Charikadan for the special words, please. With a loud round of applause, let's welcome Sri Thomas Charikadan.
President of the meeting, Honorable Minister for Registration, Cooperation, Sri V.N. Vaswan, Sri P.A. Muhammad Riyas, Honorable Minister for Tourism and Public Works, Government of Kerala, who has inaugurated this meeting, this global summit, Sri K.S. Srinivas, IAS, Principal Secretary, Tourism and Fisheries, Honorable District Collector, District Panchayat President, Gram Panchayat President and other dignitaries on and off the dais. Welcome to all the delegates who is participating in this Global Responsible Tourism Summit. Welcome to all to our land of letters, latex and lakes. We are having this summit just by the side of a lake which is world famous, Vembanadu Lake. And we are proud of the fact that our land, this small stretch of the state, each and every village of this state is a tourism center. Nowhere in the world you can find such a situation. And you can be at a beach, sea beach, then within 2 hours you can be at a backwater station. Within 2 or 3 hours you can be at a hill station. This also is a peculiarity of our Kerala. This land is known as you all know, God's own country. We are proud of the fact that this summit is being held at Kumaragam, which is the headquarters, I will say, of Kerala tourism. And welcome to you all for this summit. I am sure that the deliberations during the day will definitely be helping the responsible tourism project of Kerala. As was mentioned by our Honorable Minister earlier, we are leaders in the responsible tourism all over the world. We have received so many awards and we are proud that we could conduct a summit of this nature with the participation of around 200 delegates from all over the world. I hope that the deliberations will definitely be fruitful and that will definitely contribute for the promotion of the responsible tourism in Kerala, also all over the world. Only one more thing I would like to mention. The Government of India has selected this center, Kumaragam, as one of the Swadeshi Darshan centers. Out of around 17 centers which they have selected, the Kumaragam is the only Swadeshi Darshan project coming in the Swadeshi Darshan project. And that way, the Kumaragam also is getting boost in the tourism sector. I congratulate all the people, especially our minister, our own representative in the Legislative Assembly, Sri V.N. Vasavan, who is holding the portfolio of cooperation as well as registration, and he has taken up the initiative to promote tourism in this area, especially in Kottayam district. And I thank, on behalf of the people of Kerala, on behalf of the people of my parliamentary constituency, I thank the Honorable Minister for taking the initiative to have a summit here in Kumaragam, and I wish all success to this summit. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, our Chief Guest, Sri Thomas Charikadan. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the keynote speech. For that, let me welcome Ms. Susan Ferguson, Country Representative, UN Women India. And the topic is all about UN Women and Gender Inclusive Tourism. May I welcome Ms. Susan Ferguson with a loud round of applause, please. Thank you.
So thank you very much for your warm welcome today. Honourable Ministers, Members of Parliament, also Panchayat leaders and district leaders, senior government officials, international guests and everyone working in the industry, in short, everyone in the room, including civil society. I really wanted to start with congratulating the Government of Kerala for this incredible focus on responsible tourism and also on launching the women-friendly tourism program here. I think it's really amazing the kind of interest and commitment to women-friendly tourism and responsible tourism in general. And as I mentioned last night in our informal gathering, it's the first time I've been to Kerala, and it's obviously ripe for more tourism. It's an incredibly beautiful state, and I'm really, really pleased to be here. So, you know, the reason that UN Women is interested in responsible tourism and women-friendly tourism is that tourism can really unlock development for all if done responsibly. So, you know, women's travel empowers them to make their own choices and to be independent. It can change social norms. Governments and communities can really encourage this trend by making tourism destinations safe for women. They can also encourage more women to work in the travel industry, as in fact more women in the public domain makes women travellers feel safer as well. non-stereotypical jobs can change mindsets. You know, seeing women as drivers and managers of programs rather than just behind the scenes, maybe sewing, cooking and cleaning. Tourism can change the structure of work in a particular area. So the Women Friendly Tourism Project, launched in October 2022, is such a great example of how tourism can be rolled out to benefit everyone. And we're really happy to partner with the Kerala Safe Tourism Program to create a network of women's units and tourism centres managed by women. So as I just mentioned, that really women-friendly tourism can be a mechanism to bring about social change and to boost development. It can accelerate the Sustainable Development Goals. We know that, and this is a fact now, it's not just something that we might think or feel, that diversity, for example, in the management of firms and companies at all different levels actually adds to economic growth. It can add to the bottom line of companies. In fact, if we were to close the gap in economic opportunities between women and men, if women were able to participate economically to the same extent as men in general, it could add $27 trillion to the economy. So this is both a smart thing to do, to include women in the tourism sector more, but it's also the right thing to do because it allows women to have more choices over their lives. So in India, there is the labour force participation rate of women has stagnated over the years, even before COVID. And the labour force participation rate is, the World Bank says, is around 20%. It's one of the lowest in this region, yet there are so many opportunities for women. So the reasons that this labour rate has been falling or is stagnant is partly because of such things as safety. You know, women's ability to travel safely to work on public transport networks, or women's ability to work safely in the workplace free of sexual harassment. It's also related to the gender norms around care work, and it's often women's responsibility to be looking after children or elderly people. So yet each of these areas are also an opportunity for growth and change. So, you know, more women drivers in transport can increase safety for women. More jobs in the care economy, which is going to be important in the tourism sector, can create jobs for women and for men. So this is why, the bigger picture, this is why we're very interested in this sector. And in our support to the Women Friendly Tourism program here will include training of selected women to work as tour coordinators, storytellers, community tour leaders, auto taxi drivers, and also as homestay operators. So opening up other job opportunities for women. Our work with the Government of Kerala goes back to 2020 when we signed an MOU with the Gender Park here, which is another very interesting initiative of the Kerala Government through the Women and Child Development Department. And the MOU covers several different important areas of work which I hope will be leveraged to support this women-friendly tourism as well. We have a consultant placed in the Gender Park, and that's Pija, who's here today, who's our state focal point on the verticals of eliminating violence against women. And a major collaboration between UN Women India and the Gender Park is establishing a South Asian data hub for gender disaggregated data. And globally, this is a huge issue. It's hard to measure change and development if the statistics are not gathered. So we again hope that that will support this women-friendly tourism work as well, the collection of appropriate data. Globally, UN Women has a flagship program called Safe Cities and Safe Public Spaces, which connects closely to women-friendly tourism. And Safe Cities covers such things as, developing policies that impact women's ability to participate and feel safe and productive in their own city. It also looks at women's voice in decision making, and this is another key area in tourism which is so important, for women to have a seat at the decision-making table. And I can see just from the women who are on the stage, many of the Panchayat leaders, or some of the Panchayat leaders here, who are in India, of course, there's 1.4 million Panchayat women leaders, which is extraordinary. And these women can also bring a big voice as to development through women-friendly tourism. So there are 2 cities of Kerala that have already become part of the program. That's Calicut and Trivandrum. And we're working with the local self-governments and Smart City Corporation to implement these cities. And I mention them because they're also, this kind of work looking at safety and urban development can also open up great tourism opportunities for women in the sector. We also in Kerala work on a range of behaviour change programs because, as I've mentioned, some of the things that make it difficult for women to participate in the sector are around social norms that see women not as leaders, for example, or that accept that it's harder for women to be safe in a public space. So we do have a focus on changing these social norms through partnering with colleges and schools here. And we would love to grow this, this focus on positive social norms to support women and men in Kerala. And we're also developing some training modules that will be able to be used by anyone working in the sector to open up women's opportunities as well. So I'm just skipping ahead now because I don't want to overtake my time here. So in essence, we really look forward to working with the Kerala government on the responsible tourism and women-friendly tourism. And shortly we'll be signing an MOU to that effect too, and I'm really grateful to the government for this partnership. I really have no doubt our collaboration will increase the potential for women-friendly tourism. And I hope that our partnership grows and flourishes over time. I just wanted to stop with a little story of my own about women-friendly tourism. Many years ago, over 35 years ago, I was a young female traveller myself, and I travelled by myself to many countries. I was lucky to do this because I came from a country where I had education, and I know that Kerala has an amazing education system, and I was able to get a job and have control over my own income and decide what I wanted to do with my life. So I was privileged in that way. But in travelling by myself, I had a constant companion, and that was fear of violence and sexual harassment incidences. So I was aware that men that I met along the road did not have this kind of situation. They didn't have to deal with the same kinds of things. I mention this travel of my own because it completely changed my life. It gave me an interest in people in different countries. It opened up my eyes to inequality and the struggles that many people have to face. And it made me seek a career in international development work. So travel is more than just visiting and having a nice holiday. Travel can change your life. It changed mine, and I hope we can jointly create opportunities to change other young women's lives and open up the opportunities that men and women should be able to equally have. So I think that this partnership will have potential for everyone. If travel is safe and inclusive for women, it's safe and inclusive for men also, and for children and for people with diverse genders. So it opens up jobs, it accelerates the sustainable development goals, and it has a very positive cycle for all of us. So with that, I'd like to say again, thank you so much, and especially to Mr. Rupesh Kumar for inviting us down here. And it's lovely to see some of our colleagues also from MP, where we're also engaged. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope that, and I know that this will be a wonderful event, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Susan Ferguson. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the next keynote address. For that, let me welcome Dr. Harold Goodwin, Director, Responsible Tourism Partnership, Found Director, ICRT 2002, and Advisor to WTM on RT. And the topic is all about Platform for Change, Global Responsible Tourism Movement. For that, let me welcome Dr. Harold Goodwin with a loud round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. I'd like to start by acknowledging the ministers who've been so important in the development of responsible tourism in Kerala. I've been around long enough to remember Dr. Venu's concern when the government changes and the efforts we made to make sure that responsible tourism became a priority for successive governments. And I think one of the problems about tourism development generally around the world is you fail to get that continuity of governance, which is critical to having success in managing tourism in a particular way. And I really applaud Kerala for the way in which it's achieved that. In large part, I think, by engaging the panchayats, and it was a delight to see so many of the panchayat leaders here today, some of whom I've worked with before. I'd like to say a big thank you to Kerala for organising the first international summit on responsible tourism. It's a really great opportunity to bring together people from around the world. And what I would say is that in 2008, the conference was really about Kerala learning from experience around the world. Now, it's much more about people around the world learning from what's happened in Kerala. It's really changed significantly in that time as Kerala has emerged as the international leader in responsible tourism at the global level. I'd also like to say that the importance of responsibility is that it is responsibility that drives sustainability. I'm extremely pessimistic, I have to say, about the Sustainable Development Goals. Because the problem is that people are not taking responsibility for achieving them. There's no problem with the goals themselves, the problem is the lack of take-up. I'm really pleased to see you here representing UN Women, because that is one of the areas where I think progress is being made currently. But there are many others, not least climate and plastic, where we're failing really to address the scale of the challenge that we confront. One of the ways of understanding what responsible tourism does it came up last night, the introductory talks. It really is about moving from conflict to cooperation. And when I came here for the first time in 2007, and to be honest, much of my memory about that first year is a bit hazy now, but certainly in 2008 there was a demonstration against the conference. People were concerned it was yet another example of tourism colonising local communities. I hope now that the panchayats and local communities recognise that we've tried to address that. Ultimately, responsible tourism is a political process in which people need to cooperate. Unfortunately, lots of businesses will try to deny their responsibility. They will say, for example, you hear this a lot now around the world, we're all in favour of responsible tourists. It's up to the tourists to be responsible. Well, no, actually. It's up to the businesses to offer water in bottles, as we have here, not in plastic bottles, in glass bottles. It's up to the businesses to be using purified water, not relying on bottled water, which has often been transported very long distances. So it's not only the plastic, it's the carbon. It's really up to the industry to create an environment in which a tourist can come and behave responsibly. There's an awful lot that businesses do by the way they edit choice. And I'll talk more about that in my presentation later on this morning. Responsible tourism is a movement. It's been co-created. No one can own it. Nobody can think that it belongs to them. I certainly don't think it belongs to me, and it makes me very angry when I see people thinking that it belongs to them. Businesses can use responsible tourism, but they need to recognize that if they claim to be responsible, they should be fearful of being called out for their irresponsible practices. From a government perspective, I think it's critical that the destination managers, both nationally, state level, and at village levels, understand that they need to use tourism and not allow tourism to use the community, the environment, and the local cultures. It's really up to government to recognise that they need to control and manage tourism for the benefit of the communities. In the shorthand, to make better places for people to live in, because they're better places for people to visit, but it's about putting the residents first. All businesses can be more responsible. It's not just about the small businesses. Change requires that we engage the big players. I've stood at the back of the awards ceremonies at WCM in London and heard people booing when we've given awards to big companies. That is a serious mistake. We need to expect all businesses to be responsible. This is not just about homestays. It's about way more than that. And for myself, I'm delighted to see that Booking.com are here today. I'll talk more about them in my presentation later. Ecotourism was a terrible distraction. So often when I first started in this field, people would say, oh, well, we don't need to do sustainability, that's what the ecotourism operators do. The fact that most of the ecotourism operators weren't doing it either seemed to escape people's notice. We've come a long way since then, but now the expectation is that all businesses will engage with responsibility. Most recently, what was the International Environment Hotels Initiative became the International Tourism Partnership, has been rebranded as the Sustainable Hospitality Alliance. That's now somewhere around 45% of all the hotel rooms in the world are represented through that organisation. It's become a very major player. But what is striking about that is that they at the same time have turned themselves into a charity. The members no longer get exclusive rights to the information and the processes that they've created. They have become available broadly to everyone because of their charitable activity. Responsible tourism is essentially a social movement. It is not simply a business opportunity for some people to make business out of it as a concept. It is something we ought all to be part of and all to contribute to. Transparency is fundamentally important. Rupesh, last night you asked that we be critical. You know that I have deep concerns about your classification system because certification globally has become the biggest guarantee of greenwashing imaginable. And if I had more time, I'd tell you about my experiences of checking into hotel rooms where they're supposed to be sustainable and they're clearly not. There's a real difficulty about making sure that people who are misusing these certificates are called out and the certificates are taken away. That isn't happening at the moment. I'm hoping, Mr. Poo, that you will be able to organise that in Kerala, because I think you have the skills and the capacity to do it. If you do that, it'll be another global leadership role for Kerala, and I hope that we can have some discussions about how that might be done later today. Almost the last thing I wanted to say is that we are seeing lots of new labels coming through, people trying to be different. So we've got people now talking about conscious tourism. There's nothing wrong with conscious tourism, but it's not a new concept. It was way back in the 2002 Responsible Tourism Declaration. We talked about the importance of meaningful connections and respect. And one of the great things about tourism in Kerala is that you very rarely see disrespect. in the same way that you see it in other places. Kerala is a very special place to come on holiday, and it has a very high repeat visitor rate. We have people now creating something called regenerative tourism, whatever that means. They normally don't bother to define it. But in the Cape Town Declaration way back in 2002, we defined it as making a positive contribution to the conservation of natural and cultural heritage and generating great economic benefit and well-being for local communities. But having said all that, the label really doesn't matter. It's not what people say they're doing or the label they attach to their business. It's what they do. It's the action. It's the transparency about what they do, which is the critical issue, it seems to me. We need to scale up. And if I might say so, I think Kerala has been an absolute global model in that process of scaling up, and I'll describe it in more detail for those who are not familiar with it later this morning. We need to scale up because we need to future-proof destinations. We need to ensure that resilience is built, and we need to avoid dependency. And again, Kerala has been very successful at avoiding the worst kinds of dependency that can occur, so that when the tourists stop coming, as they will in periods like COVID, people are not left destitute because the tourism has disappeared. Kerala is another great example of how to avoid that kind of dependency. I was particularly pleased to see that Booking.com is represented here today. Some purists will doubtless be surprised that I say that, but I think Booking.com is one of the really big opportunities for the development of responsible tourism and sustainability going forward, and I'll talk more about that later. Finally, I wanted to remind everyone that India has taken up the leadership of the G20, and I personally am really excited by that. The G20 hasn't been particularly active in tourism in recent years, but it's clear under India's leadership that that is going to change. I've had the privilege to work in 96 countries, and what I would say is that everything I know about tourism, I've learnt from people I've engaged with in those countries. I am really anxious to see more South-South exchange. So at the front here is Adam Abbar. This is, I think, Adam, your third visit to Kerala, and you've worked closely with Rupesh Kumar when you visited. Rupesh has still not been to Africa. I'd really like to find a way of enabling more South-South exchange to happen so that the activists can learn from each other. The tourists, let me say, have very little power except where they choose to visit. And the success of Kerala, as we heard earlier from the Secretary, the success of Kerala is that it's made itself a very attractive place to visit. And it's a great place to visit because it's a great place to live in. And that emphasis on local communities is at the core of responsible tourism. Let me finish by saying again thank you to the government of Kerala for funding and allowing Rupesh to organise this summit. It's been a massive commitment by everyone to make it happen. Let's make sure that we contribute by sharing our ideas about how further to develop responsible tourism in Kerala. Thank you very much indeed.
I'm requesting Dr. Harold Goodwin kindly stay back because this is the right moment to welcome Raj Basu, founder of Health, Tourism and Northeast States of India. Will hand over regional to Mr. Dr. Harold Goodwin. May I welcome Raj Basu for that. Do the honor, please join.
Hi everyone, this is the entire team from Arunachal Pradesh who has come. This is the first state of India as the sun rises. I would request the team to come forward while we hand over the book to Dr. Harold. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very important moment to be a part of. I'm requesting everyone's attention on the stage and big round of applause. Thank you so much to the whole team and Raj Basu. Thank you very, very much. Yes, that was a very wonderful moment to be a part of, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to the whole team and Raj Basu, and thank you so much, Ms. Susan Ferguson and Dr. Harold Goodwin. That was really wonderful. Thank you very much to all of you. Please have your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to a very, very important moment. That is the MOU Declaration, the United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women, and the Responsible Tourism Mission, Department of Tourism, Government of Kerala. For the MOU Declaration, may I welcome Ms. Susan Ferguson once again, please.
Thank you.
And that was a very proudful moment for all of us. And thank you so much for doing the honor, Ms. Susan Ferguson. And that was all with the MOU Declaration. Yes, that was such an outstanding moment for all of us, and big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, because as I said before, this is a very, very important moment to be a part of. And that was all about the MOU Declaration, the United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women, and the Responsible Tourism Mission and Department of Tourism, Government of Kerala. Here it is. Thank you so much for doing the honor. You all can have your seat. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the next report on Kerala, our team movement. For that, let me welcome Director Tourism, Government of Kerala, Mr. P.B. Noor, IAS. Please join.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, Minister for Public Works and Tourism, Sri P.A. Muhammad Rayas, Sri V.N. Vasavan, Minister for Corporation and Registration, Sri Thomas Charikardan, Member of Parliament, Ms. Susan Ferguson, Country Representative UN Women, Dr. Harold Goodwin, Founder, International Center for Responsible Tourism, Sri K. Srinivas, Principal Secretary, and all other dignitaries on and off the dais. Welcome once again to the Global Responsible Tourism Summit. I'm here to present a report on Kerala RT movement. Responsible tourism is an alternative tourism approach which came up during late 60s and early 70s as a response to environmental concerns of mass tourism mainly conceived with three kinds of responsibilities termed as the triple bottom line: economic responsibility, social responsibility, and environmental responsibility. Responsible tourism is about making better places for people to live in and better places for people to visit. RT encompasses all forms of tourism which generates greater economic benefits to local people and enhances the well-being of local communities. Government of Kerala has decided to practice responsible tourism on an experimental basis at 4 selected destinations, and the first phase of responsible tourism in Kerala was started in 2008. Going through various phases of development, in 2017, Responsible Tourism Mission has been formed as the nodal agency for the sustainable tourism development based on the concept of responsible tourism and lead the various forms of tourism activities coming under rural development and community development. A responsible tourism mission is formed with the following objectives. One is initiating community level tourism activities. Second is creating tourism, trade, and community linkages. Third is encouraging adoption of RT principles and practices by tourism trade and other stakeholders. The major activities currently being carried out by the RT mission are: 1, to initiate and develop local tourism activity, connect the local community with the tourism industry, promote and implement responsible tourism ideas, develop and promote rural tourism packages, experimental tourism packages, provide local employment through tourism, women empowerment, poverty alleviation and uplifting of marginalized communities through tourism, promoting eco-friendly tourism activities and implementing the concept of waste-free tourism centers. Now, I'll brief you some of the major activities which the Responsible Tourism Mission is taking up in Kerala. One is the training and skill development activities. There are different domains in which the local community can get and then generate income directly or indirectly from the tourism sector. RT Mission is identifying these possibilities, train the local communities, and equip them to enter into tourism sector directly or indirectly. While conducting training, also RT Mission ensures that the expenditure goes to the units of RT Mission. Maximum trainers are from RT resource persons or unit members. Then experiential tourism packages. RT Mission identifies various attractions including natural, historical, cultural activities like rural livelihood and packages them in a well-connected form by incorporating other elements for a tour package so as to form different experiential tourism packages. The main highlight of this idea is that it ensures public participation for tourism development, thereby supporting farmers, small-scale entrepreneurs, and traditional artists, and so forth. STREET project, which has already been discussed here. STREET stands for Sustainable, Tangible, Responsible, Experiential, and Ethnic Tourism. Is a participatory tourism development project being implemented by the Responsible Tourism Mission at 10 selected places of Kerala, follows the UNWTO's new tourism motto, Tourism for Inclusive Growth. PEPPER is another ambitious project of RT Mission Kerala. PEPPER stands for People's Participation for Participatory Planning and Empowerment through Responsible Tourism. This is an initiative of RT Mission piloted at Vaikam Taluk, which is a nearby Taluk in Kottayam district. Model RT Village project is another project wherein developing the potential places as a completely responsible tourism practicing destination is the idea. Kerala Agri-Tourism Network is another important project wherein RT Mission links the farmers and farming activity with tourism and enables to generate additional income through tourism for the farmers. The project also envisages to promote agricultural activities and environmental protection through tourism. Experiential and Ethnic Cuisine Project. Experience Ethnic and Local Cuisine Network is a project to support and promote the women folk in the local community to involve the tourism without any additional investment. Through this project, RT Mission provides an opportunity for the tourists to enjoy the authentic local cuisine in local houses, which generate income to housewives, unit members who are participating in the project. The mission is working systematically to implement each project in the field level. At present, directly 46,000 plus and indirectly 83,000 plus local community members, totaling around 130,000 families are linked with tourism, and this is generating additional income for these families. There are a few networks which we have created to enable the RT activities. One is the Kerala Responsible Tourism Network. This online platform is a wide variety of indigenous handicrafts, souvenirs, traditional attires, home decor, jewelry, etc. This is a platform created for the sales of these products, so that this again will improve the income of the local community. RT Art and Culture Forum is another online platform which is created by the RT Mission. This innovative concept brings martial, ritual and performing art practitioners of Kerala into the limelight by directly connecting them to the tourism industry and public. Artists in different spheres can register themselves to join this directory. Human resource directory is another possibility, wherein connecting the skilled and unskilled laborers to the tourism sector, again, which will enable to strengthen their income. The Experience Ethnic Local Cuisine Network I have already told you about. Then, probably because of these different sets of activities which we have been going through from 2007 for the last 2 decades, there has been a lot of national and international recognitions which the RT Mission has received. Of all these awards which we have received, the latest is in the World Travel Market, London, wherein we have bagged 4 gold awards for the WTM India Subcontinent Awards 2022. Before concluding my report, I would like to share that Kerala has been recognized as the 13th in the list of 52 places one must visit. This is prepared by the New York Times. And in that recognition, there has been a special mention about the responsible tourism mission activities and mission activities in Kumaragam, Maravanturat and Vaikam, which has been recognized while selecting Kerala as a destination which you must visit in the New York Times. I'm sure we were able to achieve this because of the participation which we have got from the industry and from different stakeholders of the industry. I'm sure that hundreds of you have traveled a lot of distance and participating in this event, because all of us recognize that responsible tourism is the future of the tourism industry. And I'm sure we will be able to work together for a better tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. P. Vinu IAS, for the report on Kerala RT movement. Thank you very much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the video release. Dr. V. Venu IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Kerala. He couldn't join with us because of the health situations, but he will be joining with us through the recorded video. So I am requesting everyone's attention on the screen. Let's watch it out.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Venu and I'm delighted to be among you as part of this very prestigious and long-awaited event concerning responsible tourism. So the Kerala Global Responsible Tourism Summit being held in Kumaragam would be an opportunity for practitioners of responsible tourism within the country and outside to interact, exchange ideas, and learn from each other. I would have loved to be there for all the days. It would have meant catching up with old friends and also understanding how much we have moved forward over the last 15 odd years that we have been talking about responsible tourism and practicing in our own ways responsible tourism in various contexts. Unfortunately, my doctors don't allow me to travel, so I have to satisfy myself by attending the virtual sessions of the summit. This gives us an opportunity to think about the journey that we have traversed, the path we have taken, and also to think about the path ahead of us. I think the most important thing is that responsible tourism in different ways, in different hues, is well on its way and is diversifying into a very complex set of activities, each adapting to the environment in which it is born, but finding ways to deepen and get rooted based on the triple bottom line that we are all familiar. I go back to the work, the discussions that we've had many years ago when the Kerala Declaration was launched, and I'm amazed at how people have taken the principles and have transformed their activities using responsible tourism. And I'm seeing responsible tourism as a tool that have been used very well in different contexts. This summit has so many interesting sessions, examining responsible tourism in different ways and different aspects. While Kerala can legitimately say that we have taken strides, taken steps that many other regions and destinations can follow, I think for a destination that has embedded responsible tourism into its DNA, so to speak, we are yet to use responsible tourism in its full potential. So I think this summit will bring together practices, experiences from which Kerala can learn. And I'm sure that our experiences, particularly the very different, the variety of ways in which responsible tourism has been practiced in Kerala, incorporating women-friendly tourism, the street project, the agri-tourism projects, all these can also serve as interesting models for practitioners from other parts of the world to understand and incorporate into their practices. In this context, I'm extremely delighted to be part of the summit, and I have great pleasure in launching the responsible tourism video that provides glimpses of our initiatives in Kerala. And we hope that this video and other material that you will see at this summit will be useful for stakeholders and practitioners. And we all will carry the flag of responsible tourism forward, not only in India, but in other parts of the world. Thank you once again.
Well, that was all about the video release. Thank you very much, Dr. V. Venu, IAS. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the brochure release. For that, let me welcome Yes, that was all about the wonderful video. Hope you all liked it. And moving on to the brochure release, for that, let me welcome District Collector Kottayam, Dr. P.K. Jayashree, IAS. Ma'am, please. I am requesting all the dignitaries kindly join. Also stand up for a moment. All right, we are done with the brochure release. May I request Dr. P.K. Jayashree, IAS, kindly join to speak few words for us, please.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais. There had been several speeches and deliberations on the importance of tourism, the role of the importance of our state, even Kerala, and coming to Kottayam and the local locations of Kottayam in the tourism map. I would like to focus on a few points only. It is responsible tourism we are talking about. But who is responsible? There are three stakeholders who are responsible for a smart tourism activity. One is the tourist who comes into the tourist location, then the local residents, the local population who are living in the local area 24/7, and then the administration, the state, district, and the local administrations who are coordinating the activities, seeing that the location is smart in all aspects. A clean and neat destination, a safe and secure destination that will be a smart and responsible tourist destination. All the efforts of all the administrative governments, local residents, and the tourists who volunteer into keeping the location a safe, secure, clean, neat, that is actually responsible tourism. This Global Responsible Tourism Summit will, the signed MOU, etc., will cater to such needs. That is my hope. And Kochi, 3K destinations are the most famous tourist destinations known all over the world. And Kumaragam being the middle destination, we are very hopeful that all the tourists coming to Kovalam and Kochi will come over to Kottayam. And as head of the district administration, I am very happy that Kumaragam is becoming such a focus point in the world tourism map and leading the global responsible tourism efforts. A responsible tourism destination should be smart in all aspects. There should be the sufficient infrastructure. There should be the safe and secure setup. All the major points of the location should be showcased, and that should be made available to the tourists. They should have knowledge of the items available in the tourist destination, everything. Such a smart destination should be the end result of the decisions taken in the Global Responsible Tourism Summit going on here. And I'm very hopeful that all the tourist destinations in God's own country will be more and more popular, inviting more tourists, giving them a very good tourist experience, and beyond the world tourism map. Wishing the Global Responsible Tourism Summit all success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. P.K. Jayashree IAS, for your beautiful words. Ladies and gentlemen, Global Responsible Tourism Summit 2023, we are moving on to the felicitations. For that, let me welcome President District Panchayat, Kottayam, Ms. K.V. Bindu. Please join. She's not here. So moving on to the next personality. Let me welcome President Kerala Travel Mart Society, Mr. Baby Matthew Somadhiram. Please join.
Dignitaries on the dais, delegates and friends. I think this is a historical moment for the village of Kumaragam, for the state of Kerala, and for the country of India. Because this summit, Global Responsible Tourism Summit, first summit is happening in Kerala. Thanks to Mr. Harold, he is the father of responsible tourism. I think he has devoted his life for responsible tourism wherever we go. In ITB, Berlin, or WTM, any country, any discussions, any summits on responsible tourism, he is there. Thank you very much on behalf of the industry of tourism industry of Kerala. Of course, dear delegates, why Kerala tourism is so successful in our state? It is because of the PPP model, public-private partnership. Thanks to our government, to the minister, chief minister, to the secretary, director, previous ministers and previous team, as well as the present team. Here in Kerala, we are working together. Being the president of KTM and from the industry, definitely I have to say, responsible tourism when started in Kerala years before, it was only a part of a department. Now it has become a separate mission, separate department. Thanks to Mr. Rubesh. Do you believe there are 25,000 units now in Kerala under responsible tourism? That means 25,000 units with a lot of people working and living through this responsible tourism mission is because of Rubesh. You won't believe how much hard he is working. Since I am in the industry, we are working together, I know how much effort he is taking. Dear delegates, today we can see many people, many delegates and speakers from different countries, of course from different states of India. This is again another success of this summit. Once more, congratulations to the whole team, those who came here, and for the responsible tourism mission, and the team of tourism, team of Kerala and India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baby Matthew Somadhiram. Moving on to the next personality, let me welcome Ward Member Advocate P.K. Manoharan. Please join.
Honorable Minister Sri Vasavan Chatan, Honorable Minister Mr. Muhammad Riyaz sir, and famous dignitaries on the stage and off the stage. Our village Kumaragam. I am taking this opportunity to also say that he's a great man. Our country like Kumaragam, I belong to this country and all over the people all over the world.
Winner, Mr. Jose Dominic, please join.
Dignitaries, colleagues, on the subject of responsible tourism, there's much to talk about. I remember capitalist, luxury, and something which didn't fit in the comfort of that vocabulary. But over the years, we find that tourism has now emerged, this industry has emerged as the most successful sector in the state. The biggest employer, the biggest contributor, even as much as farm, to the GDP. So responsible tourism or tourism's role has been seen a sea change, and no longer is it something to be left behind or something which is also there. But I think Kerala's achievement is that it has put tourism on the central stage of economic development. The state which has now achieved much in human development, and I think the reward of that is ability of tourism to grow. And I think much ahead, and today we stand at a crucial stage. In 1991, when I came here, when we were setting up an enterprise here, tourism was unknown, and we were about to venture into a new industry. Today we've gone past all that, and now we've just passed what I think is the biggest calamity this industry has seen, the pandemic. And today we are now, I think, in a similar situation, in a new normal. And going forward, we hope that we have seen how vulnerable the tourism industry has been in this in calamity. How do we build resilience is a new subject. How does people who have given up, who've taken up jobs, who've lost their jobs, enterprises which are in crisis of solvency, how now we are in a new location, and I believe that it will be a challenge, and that challenge can be met by what we call being inclusive, responsible to environment, and enterprise excellence. And that's, I think, what we have before us. And I'm confident that given the past record of Kerala, the local community and the panchayat here, we have challenges ahead, can easily be met, and we look forward, as I think it was mentioned that, I think Dr. Venu was mentioned that at the first summit, the first responsible tourism event, we want to learn from countries around the world. Today, we're happy to share our experience with countries around the world. That, I think, will be my few words to felicitate this remarkable event. And I would compliment Rupesh, the leadership, Mr. Nu, and leadership, and the community, and the entrepreneurs who have made this a great success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jose Dominic.